Some areas bracing for up to 20 feet of storm surge. Millions also under a tornado threat.
I just came back from Siesta Key Beach. It's now 5 days post-Hurricane Helene, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't do this update prior because I didn't want to go in the Keys and really disturb first responders and what they needed to do, plus homeowners that were returning to see what damage was done to their home. I was able to get on the Keys today. I also went to St. Armor Circle and Lido Key. The point of this video is really to provide you with an update and also kind of talking about what you should do, especially if you're somebody that's looking to still move to Florida, maybe move to Sarasota. There's ways you can mitigate the risk. But let me just tell you this, that what I've seen today on Siesta Key Beach in Lido Key is just heartbreaking. When you actually drive through some of the streets, unless there's debris in front of the homes, you actually can't see at this point the damage that was done because the water is essentially gone, right? It just drained out of all the places it was flooding into. But the flood water has created so much damage. Just imagine your home getting flooded. Let's just say you have a foot, 2 or 3 feet of flooding inside of your house. Pretty much everything that the flood water touched has to be taken out because of mold issues. Plus, this is salt water that we're talking about. So people are taking out carpets. They may be taking out hardwood flooring, tiles. The entire kitchen may have to get demolished. I've seen Pelotons outside, refrigerators, beds, just so much debris in front of people's homes. And I can't even imagine, besides the fact that this is a lot of work, and then you're hoping and praying that your flood insurance is going to cover all of this, and when is it going to cover it? Just the emotional impact that it's having on homeowners has got to be so tremendous. Just seeing everything that you've put a lot of love in inside of your home now completely kaput. There's just a lot of debris in front of people's homes. They're cleaning out. I would say that over 50% of Siesta Key got flooded. Condos, first floors got flooded, homes. It's just insane. A lot of dirt all around. Look at all these homes and how they're just cleaning everything out. Very, very sad. And I can't even imagine the emotional toll that it's taken on somebody knowing that they've essentially lost everything that was inside of their house, especially a home that was completely flooded. I have to say that I'm one of the lucky people whose homes has really no damage at all. I'm about 3 miles out from Siesta Key Beach in a neighborhood called Palma Ranch. And outside of just falling branches and just a lot of debris from the trees, there wasn't really much to clean up at all. But what caused the main issues on the Keys is the flood water. Approximately 5 to 7 feet of surge is what we've gotten on the Keys. And so people's homes flooded anywhere from approximately an inch to 3 feet up, depending on where on the Keys they were. The eye of the hurricane didn't hit Sarasota. It actually hit the Panhandle in the Big Bend area at approximately 140 miles per hour winds. And the winds, when it comes to destruction of buildings, is very powerful. A lot more buildings up north have been destructed. We're here, like I said, if you didn't realize that the home was flooded because there's no debris outside of the home, you don't really see much destruction outside. The destruction is really inside and in the walls. When it comes to wind level here in Sarasota, I would be surprised if it was even 75 miles per hour wind. We didn't get a lot of rain either. So again, floodwaters is really what created the issue in Sarasota, really all the way up north on the coast and in the south as well.
Also in Tampa, this man going viral for kayaking in his flooded home. Some people watching the now viral video saying, "This is Florida man."
But Hurricane Helene wasn't just an issue in Florida. It went into Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina. There's so many other areas that were affected. Just look and see what happened to Asheville in North Carolina. It is just unbelievable.
In the city of Asheville, streets are still underwater, neighborhoods unrecognizable.
At this point, over 100 people lost their lives. This was such a massive, massive hurricane. I heard that it was approximately 500 miles long in terms of the damage that it's done. Looking at the statistics, in the last 7 years, we've gotten 8 hurricanes that were either category 4 or 5 hitting the United States, where prior to that, it actually took 57 years for the same to happen. And so I would say most scientists are in agreement that this is not just due to natural occurrence. One can argue this, but I think the fact is that this is going to happen again. To what extent, where is it going to hit, we don't know. I'm going to give you a few more statistics, and that is Atlanta received a record of over 11 inches actually, of rain in 48 hours, which is the most this city has gotten in a 2-day period since record keeping began in 1878. Then when it comes to North Carolina, the hurricane brought nearly 30 inches, about 4 months worth of rain in only 3 days. So there's a lot of anomalies when it comes to just normal statistics and what's been happening lately. It's best to always prepare for the worst case scenario, safeguard your home, safeguard your investment, and make sure you're safe as well. And so if you're somebody that's living here, first off, make sure you get flood insurance. It doesn't actually matter where you live in Florida. You could be in an X zone, just like we've seen during Tropical Storm Debbie. In an X zone, it can still flood. Maybe a creek is overflowing. Maybe one of the drainage system in your community isn't working correctly. You just want to safeguard your property, get flood insurance, and get homeowners insurance, no matter where you live. Now, a lot of people are worried about what this is going to do to the cost of homeowners insurance and flood insurance. Absolutely, it's going to go up. By how much? I don't know. So if you're somebody that's still looking to move to Sarasota, you're still looking to move to Florida, there's ways, and I've talked about this in my other videos, of mitigating the risk. Move further inland. If you're just moving from out of town, consider a new construction home. Homeowners insurance companies love new construction. They love an X zone when it comes to the premium they're going to charge you for homeowners insurance and flood insurance. I have a buyer that's just about to close on a relatively new home. It's approximately 8 years old, and the home is valued at approximately $900,000. Her homeowner's insurance is coming in at $2,000 a year. Flood insurance is going to be way cheaper. So there's ways of keeping that cost down. You know, a lot of people are probably going to be a little worried about moving to Florida, especially to the coast. They're going to weigh their options. I actually did this in my head too, but where would you go? North Carolina, they have their own issues. South Carolina as well, as we've just seen. Georgia, Texas. I mean, a hurricane could hit Texas. You've got Hawaii, California, you've got earthquakes. Hawaii is very expensive, so is California. So the options are going to be much smaller if you want to move somewhere warmer, have that tropical, beautiful lifestyle. So I think what's going to happen is that a lot more buyers are going to become very cognizant when it comes to the flood zone, right? Flood zone X, when it comes to the elevation. Now, there's an area called Lakewood Ranch, which is inland. And the elevation is even higher than Palmer Ranch. I believe it's about 30 feet above sea level. Lakewood Ranch is the #2 master plan community in the United States, and it's super popular, but I can tell you that it's probably going to become even more popular because it's close enough to get to the beaches, about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, but it's far enough to feel much safer from surges. And so I think what's going to happen now from a consumer behavior is that buyers are still wanting that tropical lifestyle, that Floridian lifestyle. They're just going to not want to be that close to the coast anymore. We'll see. I do believe that the home prices on the coast, they're going to go down. Partially because a lot of these homes are damaged. It's going to take some time for damage to get repaired. And once it gets repaired, it is very likely that a lot of these owners are going to want to sell their home. And so what's going to happen is we're going to see a shortage of supply, first off, because there's nothing to sell right now because these homes are getting rebuilt. And once they're rebuilt, we're going to see an influx of homes and condos hitting the market on the Keys, Siesta Key, Lido Key, Longboat Key, and that is going to bring the prices even further down. We've already had price pressures on the condo side because of the Surfside bill. I actually did a video about it, which I will link towards the end of this video so you can see what's happening. When we look at median prices in locations such as Sarasota, I do believe that the prices are going to come down, but it's going to be so important to look at the market trends by location or by communities, by zip code, because it is very likely that we may see the median price in Siesta Key dip down even further, but we may very well see prices come up in Lakewood Ranch beyond what would have been natural, and same with places east of Highway 75. So what I believe is going to happen is that there's going to be a remigration happening, not just within Florida, but certain coastal communities where people are just going to want to move further away from the coast. If they still want to have access to the beaches, they're going to be much more willing to travel to a beach if it's going to take them 40 to 45 minutes while still feeling safer because they're not that close to the beach. You know, something that I've been thinking about a lot is that there were quite a few people that did not evacuate from Siesta Key Beach, for example, when they were asked to evacuate. And then once I started digging into this a little bit deeper, I realized that a lot of these people just were too old, they had mobility issues, they were sick. And so I don't know what the Sarasota County government is going to do. We need to have better plans for the elderly to be able to evacuate safely, to have a place that they can evacuate to, that they can feel safe and comfortable in. And so hopefully this is going to be something that's going to be addressed in the future. Now, what can you do? Of course, if you know somebody that is personally affected by this and they're cleaning out their flooded home, if you have time, absolutely help them. Also, one of the easiest things you can do is to donate money. And there's several different places you give money to. I'm actually going to provide you a link for a Sarasota donation place. If you don't know who to donate to, or if you don't trust some organizations, you can call 1-800-HELP, FLA for Florida, and you can check and see if the websites or if the organization are scammers or not. That's what this website does. It just kind of filters through who's legit and who's not. Also, you could simply just do a GoFundMe page for someone that was personally affected by sharing their story and raising money that way. So there's several different ways you can give back, and if you have the time, you know, it would be a really nice thing to do. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I'm going to have an update video fairly soon. Have a good day.